everybody in the NFL, I have a dream of making it in the NFL. I got a dream of winning a Super Bowl. I got a dream of being in a Pro Bowl. I'm really not into dreams.
I'm into nightmares.
Let's go, Raider Nation in the building. We got that W.
We back. We ain't in the dreams, we the nightmares.
Yes, sir.
Be the squad and we right here. Mad Max, yeah, that boy having a night share. Derek still clutch, he been doing it for 5 years. Yeah, Pruden got these boys out here killing dreams.
Facts.
Killing teams. 16.
Raiders. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We jumping in here today with the Raider Nation on the Brennan. How'd y'all like that W this week? How'd y'all like that W this week? We go get in here. Shout out to the Back Row Network. You guys, we got NFL popping off right now. How does it feel? Raiders came out here week 1 talking about they not new to this, they true to this, even though they support the new home locale that is that of the Las Vegas Raiders. They went into Carolina and came away with a W. We're going to go over a couple of things that I took away from week 1, and I really feel that we had to be tiptoeing to get this W. It was monumental in getting the momentum I think needed to make this road to the ship possible. Yes. Twinkle toes indeed. Our first match of the year came against the Carolina Panthers, and I would like to send a special shout out to Teddy Bridgewater, now the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, and played pretty well. Showed that he was a little bit more mobile than I expected him to be. But that's all right. That's all right. We was able to come away with that W, like I said. The defense, yeah. We may be playing the role of putting on Band-Aids for the rest of the year, trying to fix some leaky holes. But shout out to another Raider on the defensive side of the ball, that boy, Jonathan Abrams, who came away with 13 tackles, I believe. He was a menace throughout the day, flying around wherever he could. Yes, he had 13 tackles, 9 solo tackles, and 1 tackle for a loss. He's going to be the captain on that defensive side of the ball, it looks like, especially on that back end. Looking forward to seeing him play a full, healthy season to see what he brings to Raider Nation. You heard. I guess the big story today is, though, Josh Jacobs had an amazing 3-touchdown day. He's being used in the passing game like they said they were going to use him. True workman force in effect down there in Raider Nation. Was able to go out there and get a road win. Something that was worrisome a little bit to me is Chip Brown, that calf injury that he missed all that the time in training camp, and it's showing that something's up with that calf. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. Mr. Jacobs, 3 touchdowns, looked very focused throughout the game, throughout the match. He was able to put up some amazing numbers. The Raiders was able to keep time of possession pretty much even. And a big shout out to the offensive line. There was not, Carr was not touched one time all game. So they was able to keep him upright. The pass rush didn't seem to bother him. He passed for a very high percentage, took a couple of shots. Nelson Aguilar was able to come down with a touchdown, and that's exciting to see. There was a really pretty ball and a great catch that he made. Henry Ruggs had a deep ball, and what would it had been like if he had crossed that plane and scored the Raiders' first touchdown as the Las Vegas Raiders? That would have been monumental, but it was a hell of a run, way to get separation, and he was able to show us what that speed do. Show me what that speed do, boo. You know what I mean? So he got out there and he got a couple of rushing attempts, and he was able to put that fire to the flame, or put that defense to the flame. And I ultimately think that the Panthers played really well. It was a close game. Something that worried me, that I noticed a couple of times on offense, I noticed Mr. Jacobs putting his head down while he runs. And last year they made it a point of emphasis to take Spearing out from the defensive side of the ball and as an offensive runner. I've seen him do it sometimes last year, and it's the first game of the year, so maybe it wasn't a focus point for the referees. But I can see us gaining some momentum and needing a play, and him doing that, and that play being called later in the year. So remember that I said that because I noticed he did it twice, and also another thing about it is it's worrisome because he can get injured doing so, leaving his back exposed. And you guys know what I'm talking about. It looks like as he's going down, or he's fighting for more yards, or he's trying to deliver a punishing blow to the defender, he puts his head down, even to a point where it looks like he's looking at the ground. And he's very effective in doing this, and he's not the only one who does this. Ezekiel Elliott did it quite a few times over the weekend, but it's something that I noticed last year, and I'm seeing something. It's just his style of running and how he runs. He wants to get the most out of every yard and deliver a blow and punish the defense to wear them down. At the same time, I've seen it on the defensive side of the ball with Abrams. When he's tackling, he wants to let the receiver, the offensive skill player, know that he's there. So there's these plays that are happening when the play is just about done and he comes flying in to add a little thump to the play, or maybe it's bang bang, but this is how he got injured last year. And I know for sure I've seen him do it once, and maybe he did it twice. And I know what it is an intimidating factor that you want to let that offensive player know no matter what, you better get down. And even if you get down, I'm going to hit you. But that's something that worries me as well, as one for injury. You just don't want to get that player tagged. The play is done. Let's get ready for the next play. And I understand you want to be the punishing 13 tackle a game kind of player. But, if you guys noticed that, holla at your boy, right? Hunter Renfrow, I expected more for him week 1, but you can't be upset. They got some contributions from somebody that I did not expect them to get contributions from. And I would like to say a shout out to Devontae Booker. He had 3 receptions, and he had some rushing yardage that I think was very crucial. He did also have 1 fumble, but that wasn't that damaging because it wasn't lost. But he was able to have garner 7 yards a carry on offense on 4 carries, and then he also chipped in 3 catches with a 7-yard per average clip on those. So he caught all of his targets. I knew it going in, and what happened with Lynn Bowden and all the unnecessary running backs that we brought in that didn't work out, that I thought we were going to be thin in the running back room. And with the contributions of Devontae Booker and Jalen Richard, I think we're going to be okay as long as Jacobs stay healthy. And it looks like Jacobs is going to have a lot more targets in the passing game because he also caught 4 of his 6 targets for 40 yards. So that's going to help keep the offense balanced, and you just won't know what might be thrown at you. I like what John Gruden has put on some COVID pounds. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I don't know if that's news or not, but we know he over there eating, baby. He over there eating.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Yeah, I know, right? I wish the game wasn't as close as it was. I wish the Raiders was more so to come out with a more of a intimidating planting their flag moment in this game, being that Carolina is not one of the better teams in the league, or expected to be. And I think Carolina has something to say about that. I don't think they're going to just be a rollover team, being that they have CMC. They do have offensive weapons, and the Raiders did pretty good keeping DJ Moore pretty much contained on his 9 targets. He only caught 4 of those. But Robbie Anderson, 8. On his 8 targets, he caught 6 of them for over 100 yards. So if that's going to be something that tells us that the shifty, speedy wide receivers is going to be a problem for the Raider Nation. Is that going to be a trend? Are we going to have more of an issue of guarding wide receivers of Robbie Anderson's skill set? That would only be able to tell, was it a fluke? But giving up 19 yards per catch to Robbie Anderson was not nice. He did have one long run. One long catch, excuse me. But I didn't think that was acceptable for most part of the early part of the games. I think CMC was kept to a respectable usage and production. So that was a little bit more surprising than expected. Um, Going forward, we just can't be in shootouts in every single game. I don't think our defense is built that, or even our offense, to put up 34 points a game for 16 games, if not more. That is something to pay attention to moving forward. One thing also that I did not like is they wasn't able to get any pressure on the quarterback. But I mentioned earlier, Teddy Bridgewater was a little bit more mobile than I expected him to be, and actually got some rushing yards in the game. A really nice spin out the pocket once the pocket broke down. But they both pretty much dealt with. Um, they pretty much dealt with. Looked like somebody got a sack now that I'm looking at, but they both dealt with, as far as I know, um, clean pockets. Yes, I'm also looking at this now. It looks like somebody was able to get a sack. Let me Carl Nassib and Maurice Hurst um, was the ones that got the quarterback pressures and hits, and I guess they were awarded a sack for it. So we did get one sack out of the game, but it didn't. That was all the quarterback pressures that we have. The one thing that was awesome, upsetting, is that we did not force any turnovers, but I'm willing to take that every single game if we don't force any turnovers and we don't give any up. But at some point, it was a weakness of the Raiders going back last year. We just wasn't forcing turnovers, wasn't forcing fumbles. We weren't getting the interceptions. We did have some pass deflections out there, and that's promising. But the return game for the Carolina Panthers looked like a lot better than ours. Farrell Cooper was eating us up for a nice average every time he touched the ball in the return game. Hopefully that wasn't a trend, and I actually like him as an athlete, so I believe he's really talented. But I think it's a point of interest the Raiders should probably address, because he was just kind of eating in the return game. Hunter Renfro returned our punts, and that maybe be something that they're toying around with to see who is going to be the guy. I don't have a problem with Hunter Renfro owning that situation, because he's slippery, and maybe that'll become his defined role, because he didn't have a lot of targets this upcoming game. Um, Nobody in particular. Shout out to Eric Harris. He had 5 tackles. I mentioned him in the said B preseason. Damian Arnett also had 5 tackles in the pass deflection, which is promising for a first round rookie. Um, Aside from that, I think we can walk away with this game looking forward to next week and facing off with the New Orleans Saints, and being grateful. The injury to Henry Ruggs' knee, he came out, but he came back in, and hopefully that is minor. I haven't heard anything as of yet going into Tuesday, as of today, that he won't be playing. We need to get some news on Mr. Brown and what's going on with that calf. Um, Aside from that, moving forward, we're playing on Monday Night Football in Las Vegas, the home opener of the season, and this will be the true test to see how the Raiders face off against the Saints, who actually ripped apart Tampa Bay last week. And Michael Thomas is dealing with a high ankle strain, but you still got Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray. Is this going to be a revenge game? Welcome back, Latavius Murray. The Raiders are going to welcome you with open arms. Not. Carr took some shots this game, and that was good to see, but he's going to have to do a lot more in the air. I don't think we can ask Josh Adams. I mean, I get Abrams, Josh Jacobs. I don't think we can ask for another 3 touchdown game from Josh Jacobs. We'll take it. We'll allow it if we need be, but we're going to have to open it up a little bit more. I would like to see more from Brian Edwards. He had a mediocre day, but he did his job, and he did get a couple of catches. If I'm not mistaken, he caught 2 balls. And Darren Waller looked like he's in mid-season form. Jason Witten was able to get in there. And yes, 1 target for Brian Edwards for 1 catch for 9 yards. We'd like to see him involved more. We did not see any Zay Jones, and that's interesting. I believe he made the roster, but I was expecting him to come out like gangrene. Other than that, we threw the ball approximately 30 times in Pat for 22 completions, 1 touchdowns, no interceptions. That just won't cut it. I think next week against the Saints are going to come out and try to call it their year. So Raider Nation, what do you guys think about this week's game? What are your takeaways from it? Are you 100% happy? What grade would you give your Las Vegas Raiders for the performance they did in Carolina this week? What are your hopes for the Raider Nation to come out and get that who them buzz coming to Vegas? You make sure you guys stand out. I'm not sure what will be the fan status going on over there. I want to make sure I send a shout out to the Back Row Network. You can find your favorite team being represented by the Back Row Network. All you got to do is look it up, Back Row Network, and name your team. We have a tremendous roster here. Let me see if I can mention it for everybody. I'm telling y'all to go check it out. Make sure you guys know what we got going on for y'all. Did you guys enjoy this weekend? It was some crazy madness, a lot of injuries. You can check at the Back Row Networks. Make sure you check out the Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, the Arizona Cardinals, the Dallas Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants, the Jets, the Niners, the Packers, the Patriots, the Raiders, myself, the Ravens and Redskins, Steelers, Texans, and Titans. All can be found at the Back Row Show, brought to you by the Back Row Network. We're going to try to come in here once a week from here on out for the entirety of the season to give up some thoughts about the weekly games, going into how I feel about the Raider Nation as a whole moving forward. We got one W, and it's not a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So we're in here hooked up and booked up, ready for them Who Dat Nation home game. Monday night, you know it's going to be litty. Hope to see y'all there. Enjoy your week. Stay safe. You know, we all starting to open up our states and people are starting to go back to work. Ain't no point, no elbows. We all excited, but I want to make sure you guys stay healthy out there because we don't want to end up in the same position we was in before and having to close down again. Hopefully next week I can come in here with the same kind of big stick energy and we'll have another W underneath our belt against Who Dat Nation. Catch you guys next week. You guys take care.
You know what to do with that big fat butt. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Take care, Back Row Nation Raiders.